It was a good book to start, I think. So, for real. Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. One, okay, first my review. This book cover is great. The interior is wonderful. Look at these ducks. I love it. That's actually why I bought this book. And then I like this part too, part of the cover as well. So overall, beautiful book, A plus there. This book is a dark retelling of the Brothers Grimm fairy tale Goose Girl, which I wasn't sure how Kingfisher was going to top the darkness of this already very dark fairy tale. If you aren't aware of the tale, I'm not going to recap that, but I guess just there's a reason why Disney never Disneyified it. So this story is about Cordelia and her very complicated relationship with her mother. There aren't any doors between rooms in her house. Her only friend is her mother's horse, and also her mother forces Cordelia to be silent and motionless for hours on end, like every day. Life is repetitive and understandably horrible for Cordelia, but one day her mother comes home in the middle of the night and makes Cordelia leave all that she has ever known. They arrive at the wealthy manor of an old squire and his unwed sister, and it quickly becomes apparent that Cordelia's mother is going to try to seduce the squire into marriage. But the squire's sister notices right away that something is going on with the random people suddenly thrust in her life, and she starts to take matters in her own hand. So my actual review, this book was fun. It's a little gruesome, which I suppose is to be expected from a dark retelling of an already dark Brothers Grimm tale. This book is pretty ambitious, but I think Kingfisher overall executes what she wanted to do with this story really well. We know exactly who the villain is right from the start, but since Cordelia is not at all in a position to speak up about it, at the beginning of the book at least, we're watching scenes play out, wondering like when will others catch on to the villainy? It was interesting to me. It's also a dual perspective book, and I found that the other characters' more snarky and plotting perspective to be a good contrast to Cordelia's like anxious and panicked point of view. And like every T. Kingfisher book I've read so far, things get wacky, but in a good way. I really liked this book. I recommend this book to people who, if you like dark fairy tales, obviously, if you like horror that doesn't take itself too seriously, and also if you are really into Regency romances and want to read something very different but kind of in the same realm as a Regency romance. I can't get into more specifics than that, but yeah. However, I do not recommend this book if you do not want to read about explicit child abuse, if you do not want to read about animal abuse of any kind, and if you are a horse girl. I really don't think you're going to like this book if you're a horse